Today's conversation is going to be about who did it better. Okay. So there is so many fighters that transitioned from MMA into boxing, thanks to Jake Paul and things like that. But there's only two fighters that fought the best in the game. And that's Conor McGregor and Francis Ngannou. Now, hey, what's going on, fight fans? Hey, this is Coach D, the Wild Man, coming at you again with another episode of Coach D Media. You know I do with Coach D Media. I talk about all things when it comes to combat sports. All right, let's get back into it. All right, today's conversation is going to be about who did it better. Okay, so there is so many fighters that transitioned from MMA into boxing, thanks to Jake Paul and things like that. But there's only two fighters that fought the best in the game, and that's Conor McGregor and Francis Ngannou. Now, Anderson Silva, he fought a high-level fighter too, but not like Conor or Francis. So my question is, who did it better? Who put on a better performance against arguably the best in the sport, right? So Conor McGregor was first. And you saw how they went down. They did a freaking media tour where they were showing up everywhere, where they end up getting big paydays. That both of them got over 100 million. Dana was involved in some of it on a certain level. But you talk about fighting the best fight promoter ever. I don't think there's anybody who's going to beat Floyd Mayweather when it comes to boxing promotion. There's nobody going to do it better. When he gets into the cage, huge paydays are going to happen. And it almost don't matter who he's going to fight, because he fought in Risen. He's fought everywhere. He's fought people with names that we don't know about. You know, of course, they matter in Asia, but they're not going to matter here as much in the States. And he's done it all. So I don't think there's nobody who can do what Floyd Mayweather did. That's why Conor McGregor got paid like he got paid. It was simply the right fight at the right time. Now, don't get me wrong. It was a good fight, right? Conor McGregor, you know, he was able to last as long as he lasts, but he ended up getting dealt with. All right. So, but that's Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather knew what he was doing. I'm saying, I think Floyd carried Conor into the later rounds to make it a good fight. That's just me. I think if Floyd really wanted to piece Conor McGregor up, he could have, in my opinion. Now, when it comes to Tyson Fury fighting daggone, Francis Ngannou, I think that's a different story, because Francis Ngannou is simply a genetic freak, right? Conor McGregor didn't have the tools that Francis had. Francis got one-hitter quitters. He got a steel jaw, right? And he's an opposing figure. You just not going to walk down Francis. I think you can walk down Conor, especially going into the later rounds. But you see, Francis held up going all 10 rounds against Tyson Fury, right? And Tyson Fury was able to knock down Tyson. I mean, Francis was able to knock down Tyson, which ain't, it can happen, but you got to have some power to do it, right? So walk me through who you think put on a better show. Now, Francis just had his fight, so everybody's going to be fresh. Francis's fight is going to be fresh in everybody's mind. Okay. And Conor was simply a star. He's going to get big fights because he's a big star, right? And he had the backing of Dana White and the UFC. So he was able to get everything he wanted to make this fight good. They were throwing plenty of money behind that because Conor McGregor is a social media sensation. So all eyeballs are going to be on that fight. And it's Floyd Mayweather. But look at Francis Ngannou, right? Francis Ngannou had a lot more things that he had to deal with, right? He was out there on the open market, right? He just got to deal with the PFL. The PFL is still growing. They don't got the clout like Dana White at the UFC. So, right. So for them to land huge paydays, it's going to take a little bit of work, right? And they were lucky to land somebody who had big pockets. Guys come out of Saudi Arabia, they got billions. But if it wasn't for Saudi Arabia, this could have maybe possibly could have been a harder fight, right? But like I said, in that same breath, look what Jake Paul has been able to do. He's been able to bring millions to the table for fighters, right? So it's right place, right time on both sides, right? With Conor McGregor and Floyd and Francis Ngannou and Tyson, we in that MMA boxing era right now, thanks to Jake Paul, right? A lot of people want to see the crossover, especially if popularity is there, right? But I'm still asking the question, who put on the better fight, right? I'm not saying Francis Ngannou was the better boxer compared to Conor, but Francis had the better fight tailored towards him in that fight, right? Those Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou matched up more than Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather was just clearly the better boxer fighting Conor. Conor did good, right? Right? He had some moments, but there was no way he was going to beat Floyd Mayweather. It was no way. Floyd Mayweather is too much an elite fighter. Now, granted, everybody was saying the same thing about Francis Ngannou, that there was no way he was going to be able to last with Tyson Fury. So they both had similar stories going into their matches, Conor and Francis. They both had similar stories, right? But people were going to just watch simply because it's Conor, right? A lot of people wasn't giving Francis a shot, so there was no reason to watch that fight. They're like, Tyson gonna beat the dust off him. So they ain't even buy pay-per-view. So that's one of the reasons why the pay-per-view didn't do as good as it could have, is because it wasn't the entertainment factor wasn't there going in. Everybody was kind of shitting on Francis, right? He didn't have the it factor like Conor had when it comes to their fights. And he didn't have a media machine. Tyson Fury is popular, but he ain't no media machine like Floyd is. Floyd was going to get his money out of this fight, right? He was going to get it. He was going to generate the money that he wanted to make. Tyson can't do that. Tyson can't get out there and sell the fight like Floyd Mayweather can. So it's just Conor had the better dance partner when it comes to media and building hype and selling tickets and selling pay-per-views than Francis had with Tyson. Right? A lot more work had to be done to sell this fight because nobody was giving Francis a shot. And look what he was able to do. Look what he was able to do. Right? So, right fighter, right time means a lot. You just can't always put two fighters together and go, okay, yeah, this is going to be a barn burner. Nah, that ain't going to happen like that. It ain't going to happen like that. It got to be the right dance partner for some of these fights to kick off and get the pay-per-view buy that you want to get, right? Francis, it's not Conor. He can't talk like Conor can, and he's not going to talk shit like Conor. Conor will go scorched earth to sell a ticket and pay-per-view. He will talk about your mama, your grandparents. He will talk about your religion. He will say you don't stole something. He will say whatever he got to say to sell a pay-per-view, to sell a show, right? Now he'll say he don't mean it. He's just playing the character for the fans, but like he crossed lines like a mother effer now. Francis is not gonna do that. Francis is a decent dude who was raised right. He got morals and values, man. He's just not gonna talk noise like Conor will, right? And that can hurt a pay-per-view sometime, right? But then again, Francis got out knock your ass out with one shot. Questions out there. People go, yeah, well, Francis can't knock you out with one shot now. So he had that going for him. You see what I'm saying? Right? So it could go either way depending on how you want to look at the fight. Now, of course, a lot of critics would say the pay-per-view didn't do good, right? But that story that Francis was able to do is unmatched. It's unmatched. Kind of got a good story from, being on welfare to becoming one of the biggest stars in the world. He got his own story too, but he's tarnished his legacy. Francis has not. So you got that going on too. Right? So that's my question. Who had the better fight, with their potential stars? Did Conor McGregor against Floyd Mayweather had the better fight, or did Francis Ngannou versus Tyson Fury had the better fight? right? So that's the question, all right? So let me know what you guys think, man. This was a quick one. I just want to get it out there because the buzz with Francis is still pretty daggone hot. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and capitalize on it because it is what it is. All right, that's all I got. This is Coach D doing what I'm doing, calling it like I see it, talking my share of shit. Till if you hear from me again, peace out.